Hello there. If you're having trouble like me to sleep properly, maybe this will help you. This is the Lonesome Fog. It's a nice little book, as far as that's all I know, and it is based, at least, it is made by the same people who made Shelter 2, and Shelter 1 of course, but Shelter 2 is the one that I played. And Shelter 2 is of course also based on this little critter down here. I don't know if you can see don't seem to be able to see my mouse just yet. This might change once I click in the window. So, I think I decided, I thought to myself, why don't I just read this? And maybe this helps people, but it also helps me to see how good my reading voice is. Since I tend to have this very, very bad habit of mumbling when I talk. But when I read, it's okay. So, let's have a gander at what this Lonesome Fog, what the story is all about. In a cluster of woods, not far away from you and me, something extraordinary happened. In an open field, beside a meadow of warm flowers, sibling cubs played a game of Tag the Big Bad Wolf. It was a game that didn't sit well with the eldest sibling. You see, she didn't like wolves because she was terrified of them. To be honest, she was terrified of just about everything. What if the wolf ate me? And the bear? Imagine if I slipped and fell into the river. She worriedly wailed to her mother at times. Don't be afraid of the dangers of the world, dear, Mother Low usually calmly responded. Otherwise the Lonesome Fog could get you. It comes for all with fear in their hearts. That only made her fear worse, as thoughts of everything she was afraid of began to consume her. Wolves, bears, birds, most of all, the Lonesome Fog. One day, she caught sight of something rolling down a distant mountain. It was the Lonesome Fog. It had to be. Large and all-consuming, it rolled over the nearby hill and onto her path. She turned around and sprang as quickly as her little legs could take her. However, she couldn't outrun the darkness, which inched ever closer until it was upon her. Dazed and confused, she shrieked, closed her eyes, and blindly ran till she couldn't run no further. Only blackness and an eerie silence shrouded her. After a short moment, she put a paw forward and felt the familiar feel of grass beneath her feet. Familiar was good. Slowly, she opened her eyes and was greeted by a landscape she'd never seen before. I am probably the most lonesome and scared animal in the world right now, she thought. You can move this lens around. I didn't want to do this. You can experience the game for yourself. Buy it on Steam. She perched herself atop a small rock. It was cold and damp from the fog. Am I ever going to see my family again? She wondered aloud. Of course you will, answered a voice with no face. Are you the Lonesome Fog? Asked the terrified cub as her eyes darted around to find the source of the voice. I most certainly am not, responded the voice. I am simply a worried and scared mother who is lost in this fog, just like you. Can mothers be scared too? Wondered the little cub aloud, and with a sense of relief that she was no longer alone. Apparently so, responded the voice, as she began to explain the reason for her fear. She spent most days scared something bad would happen to her little pups. The motherly voice sounded weak, and the little cub thought it reminded her of a bat or something less scary. They spoke for what felt like a long time. Sometimes they laughed, even though they were scared. Most of all, they were happy to find someone who understood what it felt like to be little and scared. Suddenly a gust of wind swept in and began to break up the surrounding dim mist, whilst welcoming the warmth of the sun. Look, it's clearing, cheered the little cub. She jumped down from the little rock and excitedly turned around to gaze upon the face of the voice that had kept her company. A large and statuesque-looking wolf towered over her. Without fear, the cubs stared at the wolf mother, who stared right back. Without uttering a word to each other, they turned around and began walking their separate ways. Both more than a little relieved by their chat. As she made into a clearing, she caught sight of her family. Delighted and filled with joy, she ran towards them. They played and talked all day. However, she pledged to keep her experiences close to her heart. No one had to know. Over time, the lonesome fog would return, and when it did, the cub didn't run away. Instead, she confidently strode towards and within it before returning to her family. Each time this happened, her belief in her ability to face anything grew. In time, little would hold any fear over her. The end. This was The Lonesome Fog. Created by Might and Delight, these wonderful people right here. As you can see, the book is based on the game Shelter 2 by the same company. The game can be purchased on that website, of course, as well on Steam, and as I mentioned before, this particular, not really game, but more software, can also be purchased there, on Steam. I suppose the website as well. But, well, I hope this was enjoyable to listen to, and I hope I didn't mess it up too badly. See you in the next one then.